Wow, that was bad. That was bad. I'm like, what the? Wait a minute here. I don't know what you guys saw, but I know that what I was going through over here was pretty weird. It was really weird, man. Um, really, really bad. You know it's bad. It's bad. You know it. And we're back. Am I not saying something? Can you not hear me? Vision Quest. Something obviously went very wrong there. Uh, oh, you can't hear me? Hang on. Can you hear me now? Okay. Aliens did take me. No, aliens didn't take me, but they took the stream. Aliens swiped the screen. Ah, ah. No, actually, that was just weird. It started echoing, and it just went on, and I couldn't get it to stop. And I came in and out of the studio. I just couldn't get anything to happen. I finally had to close down the other stream and come in. I couldn't save it. I couldn't save that stream. It was weird. It was like echo, 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 echo over here, and it was like, whoa, what happened, man? And I was beside myself. There were two of me in the studio. That's why there was this echo. Somehow I was having myself on as a guest. Well, I guess this bilocation thing finally got a little out of hand. The 60s blanket called it the psychedelic. I know, I show you my 60s blanket and it's like, the psychedelic works. Well, it is a plush blankie. Boy, I better not put that up to the screen again. Who knows what could happen next time? Boy, I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the heck do I do about this? But now I know you have to stop the stream, start again when that kind of thing. I'm trolling myself. I know, I was trolling myself. It was weird. I had to kick myself out of the studio. There is craziness afoot, and it might also be you, but yeah, there was crazy shit going on here. Oh my goodness. Aloha, Teresa. Aloha. Okay, now everybody really is here practically. Where's Chris? Where's the Cookie Monster? Cookie isn't here. Oh well. But but a lot of other people are. So where did Lewis go too? Did we lose? There's Lewis. Hi, Annie. Okay, so we have Bomber, Denali, Annie, MCAT Titan, Teresa, Annie. Let's see, I said Annie. Lewis is in. We've got the MCAT Paranormal Research. We got Whitey Chris. And, of course, our strongman Titan. And I am Pam. Pam, I am. I wore this hat for you, Pam, I am. My Dr. Zeus hat. Every home should have one. Feed on what? What are we feeding? Are we feeding something that needs? Yeah. Well, they weren't going away, so I just kicked them. They just weren't going away. They were hanging in, thinking, asking to get in the studio, which is one of the ways I knew that they were screwed up because we didn't know them and they wanted in the studio. I'll be in soon, hanging up a clothesline. Okay. So is here. So and so. Sew it up, Jake. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to do this better. I'm going to try this again. I got to get back on the horse here. And hope that I do better this time. Yikes, though. Hope that I do this better than I did last time.
And structures that be.
Okay. Yikes. Because that was actually kind of scary. And I'm not going to do the same thing again. Okay, I'm going to play this one instead. I'm just not feeling lucky, and I'm going to play this one instead of the intro while y'all are saying hi. Because honestly, I'm not sure I trust the other one. I'm just not sure I trust it. So it's a little weird, yeah, trying to figure this out. So you got to give me a moment. I'll get it though. One of these days I'll figure it out, hopefully. No, it's still giving me trouble. So heck with it. Oh, wait. Maybe I have it. Okay, I'll play this one. Techno music. There you go. Okay, just so you have something while... Oh. See, it's been weird like that. Things have been... The tech has been weird. I think the snow has been messing with things.
What are you talking about, Mandela?
Whee! This was fun to make. It was the blanket. Hi, Richard. Hi, Marie. Hi, Barry. I'm glad you weren't all scared away. Should have put a ring on it. Okay, has everybody now pretty much said hello to everybody? Usually I play this for the bathroom break, but I'm not playing the intro tonight. I'm playing this instead.
You don't think it is that
Okay, I know I deserve some kind of award for that. Now, for that acting right there. With luxurious nostril hair, I agree. Usually, at least they leave some hairs behind.
What would happen if every human being on
Oh, wait.
disappeared?
Oh, no, now what?
This isn't the story
Wait,
of my
that isn't supposed to happen either.
It's the story of what happens to
Oh, yeah, that's really happy. What would happen if every human being on Earth disappeared? Let's think about that. The alien dance pole. Yeah. I'm so glad to have you guys and not something. Nailed it. Okay. That was not planned either. I can tell it's going to be one of those nights. It's not going to be a serious night, huh? Not at all. Oh, the fire has already started, so have a seat. I already burnt. This is weird. I already burnt the sage. I already smudged. So all of this weirdness is just random weirdness. It's not anything but random weirdness. It's just maybe, I don't know, maybe it just happened to make us all, give us all a good laugh. Because, yeah, what state is MCAT rolling through tonight? Slow dancing with alien. Lady in red is dancing with me, cheek to cheek. It's just a crazy night. Yeah, you got to think about donating it. Yeah. Utes. I hope you don't have anything bad to say about American Utes. The Utes in America. Anyway, the Ute of America these days. Georgette Moctezuma. Hi, Georgette. I hope I said that right. Did I say it right, Georgette? Oh, behive. Behave. Okay. Okay, so, well, I was hoping to show you some screens tonight. I don't know what the heck's going to happen when I try to do it, though. It's like, who knows what's going to happen. Today could be anything. Well, we don't behave in here, we behive. So I think Farm did it. It's probably a Farm's fault that now we're behaving instead of behaving, but that's okay. He never comes in here anyway, so we can tease him all we want. Knows. He knows. Barry knows. Okay. Yeah, I think we need a drinking game or something. I don't know. Maybe that's. But yeah, we're getting into a season when we should be going to Christmas parties and stuff, and all the lockdowns and other stuff that is going on is just making it annoying. And so we should be having fun and get-togethers and all kinds of stuff. And that is your paintbrush, and you're not just happy to see us. So you're not just happy to see us. Okay. No. I'm glad for that bit of information. It's kind of creepy, but what a yeah, Simcat, drink up. Looks like it's gonna be that kind of night. So I was going to talk a little bit about Tartaria more and I wanted to show you some of these cities. I found another channel that talks about this stuff. And I found Turkmenistan for you. Let me make sure I have the right thing going on here.
Okay, so you're at that part of the Good Place where cheating asks how many more.
No, that isn't it. Okay, that isn't it either. Oh, Lord. Won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Dialing for dollars is waiting to find me. I wait for delivery each day until 3. Well, oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? I'm counting on you, Lord. Please don't let me down. Prove that you love me by the next round. Whoa, Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? A Mercedes-Benz. Ooh, yeah. This just does not want to be happening. I don't know why. This is just wanting to be.
Didn't expect
It's just weirder and weirder. It's just gonna get weirder, I guess. Well, at least we're entertaining ourselves. Heck. It isn't all me. It can't be all me, can it? Maybe it is. I don't know. I guess it could be. Could be all me. But I think we're going to look for somebody to pass the buck to. I know. It's Don's fault. He's not even here. But it's his fault. I'm sure of it. I'm sure. He's not here. No, we're going to have to find somebody in here to blame it on. I know. We'll blame it on Barry. It was his nostril hairs. It's very, very possible that Barry's nostril hairs snuck through the lines because they're very skinny and they could probably fit right through the wires and came in and jacked with everything tonight. And so I'm going to blame it all on Barry because he's the most likely one to do this kind of thing. I just see it. I just see it, Barry. Eyes on you, Barry. I can't show you this. It won't let me because it disappeared. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe something caused it to disappear and that did something to the stream. I don't know because I had it queued up to show you. Wow. The name of the channel I was going to introduce you to is called Daphne Reloaded. Something must have happened to Daphne, which is very sad because she was bringing up some things that, and I just had it a few minutes ago. She had, still has some good videos on there, but that particular one is gone. So I guess that's what happened. The nostril hair. Okay. We'll blame Barry even when he's not here. How's that? Something goes wrong. Barry's nostril hairs. Everybody needs a scapegoat. So, doggone, because I was going to find you pictures of turkey. Maybe I can do this another way. Because I really wanted to show you this. It was very cool. Pictures of Turkmenistan. And this person had found, let me see if I can find it. Also known as Turkmenia. Images. Okay. Now, hopefully this will work. Keep your fingers crossed. That this does indeed work. Okay. Let's hope that this is working. Yes, it is. Okay, as you see here, we have pictures of Turkmenistan. And I will try to explain it as best I can. As you can see, this is big. This is a big place. Turkmenistan. Now, you've probably never heard of it. It didn't always exist. It's only a few years old. Here we go. This is where it is, up here in the Middle East area, up here above Iran, I guess, and all the other stands, standing with all the other stands. There you go. Here's another way to see it. And here's water, I guess, over here, the Caspian Sea. It's right up above Iran. Okay, so anyway, let me explain some of these images to you. This is the beautiful architecture, which is definitely mimicking what we see here would be what you would see in a Tartarian city. Absolutely. People who have studied this say you're looking at a little replica of Tartaria right here, of how they built things. And this is called Antiquitech. This is not just decoration. These spires and things and the domes that we see in these countries originally were not just decoration. They were actually energy gathering apparatus, Antiquitech. And it is based on a free energy system that was rediscovered, obviously. I'm going to put my mama bear hat on, I think, because it's warmer. But anyway, Pam I Am's got to see my funky hat. I'm glad you came in tonight, Pam, to see that. I had that all ready for you. Okay, oh, this is nice and warm. It is so cold here tonight. Okay, so these things, especially this big thing that you see that's not a Star of David there, this thing here. This is actually, let me see if I can get it bigger for you. If it's going to let me do that or not. It maybe not. There it is. Okay, it popped in. See this thing? See all of these poles and everything? Not decoration. None of this is decoration, especially that little pointy thing on top of this thing. And this 8-gated shape, this 8-sided star here, it's not a Star of David. It's called the Gate of Heaven. And this is billed as a Ferris wheel. And people say, but it can't be a Ferris wheel because, yes, although it functions as a Ferris wheel, you can't hardly see anything out of it. So it doesn't really, nobody really rides it because you can't really see anything in there. And if you can't see out of the Ferris wheel, why are you taking the Ferris wheel? So, and you see, I mean, this is really what an advanced civilization would look like. Now, okay, so we're seeing basically a preview of what things could look like if we'd get our act together. So it would have looked a lot like that, even more ornate, though. Also, these weird poles here are also, the light poles also are gathering energy, have the Antiquitech on top of them. That's not, and you notice every single building, every single tower has the Antiquitech up on the top. Every one. They all do. Why? Because they're gathering energy. Now, how do we know that? Is because this place has the lights on all the time, all night. And it's out in the middle of a desert, and it is free. Nobody gets charged energy costs in Turkmenistan. And we also know it because, let me see if I can find a good shot of it. No, it's not really showing a lot of good. Because around these 4 big towers that you see here, around this main dome, are water pools that look a little murkier than the reflecting pool out front. And people have figured out that these are cooling pools for the energy generation system. And that this huge thing over here is also another energy generator. Because they have basically nobody pays anything for energy there. It's also extremely clean, but you don't see hardly anybody walking around because they live there mostly at night because it's so hot that not very many people venture out in the day. Everybody works for, and absolutely everybody, I guess, just about works for Turkmenistan. You know, they all work to keep the place up, basically. So this is something like what a Tartarian city would be like back in the day, only it would be, as we've seen, the architecture a lot more ornate. So I wanted to show you there was more, but we can't go there. So anyway, can't go to that one. It's gone. I'm sorry about that. Oh, here you go. Let's see what this is like. Just for you guys, want to know what a hot Turkmenistan girl looks like. There you go. Turkmenistan girls. Woo, this is how they dress. And you notice they're not wearing masks, and they're not covering their faces at all. Not at all. This is different from the other places around it. So, and this one, if you look, she's got red hair. Maybe not natural, maybe dyed over on the left here. But if you look, nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody's wearing a burqa. Nobody's doing any of that kind of thing. Nope. They're not having it. And if you look at them, this is interesting too. They are dressed Tartarian. These are what is left, probably somehow these are modern day version. And as I have seen the pictures of the Tartarian, this is what they would have looked like. So they are recreating Tartaria right there. And I thought Titan, I wanted to put this up specifically for Titan and just in general, so all of you could get a gander at this. So, hey, Max Vision came in while I wasn't looking. He just snuck right in. Oh, no, there's men too. Hang on. It's just, it had Tartarian lady, Turkmenistan ladies. Let me see if I can find, it's just Turkmenistan clothing. I guess we just mostly have pictures of women, though. But honestly, pictures that people have found of the Tartarians, they dress just like this. This is how they dressed. Exactly. So this, and then I guess the bell bottoms there are if that's bell bottoms, are a rather new addition. There's a fashion show, Turkmenistan fashion show, looks like. No, it's not just ladies, but I can't seem to find any men. Ooh, I wouldn't like that. I like men. It's kind of hard to make more of you without men. Okay, here we go. Culture. There's certainly got to be some men in here, wouldn't you think? Yes, there we go. Now you got to bear in mind the weird thing about this, looking at the clothing, which is very heavy clothing, for a place that is in the middle of a hot desert. This is probably why they come out mostly only at night, and their city is lit up at night, and because they are still wearing this very heavy clothing. And I mean, look at this guy's hat. That's like sheep wool hat. This is because the Tartarians originally lived in a cold climate. And if you look, they're actually really dressed for a much cooler climate. So, and I just noticed that myself. They are dressed for a much cooler climate. And also we're looking at almost a stereotypical, what you think of when you think of a beautiful princess. And, you know, with all the beautiful colors and everything. And I guess here are some guys. I guess they make quite a bit of the much ado over their women and not very much over the guys. But there they are, I guess. So you get some idea. They wear the, oh, here's a nice looking groom and bride here. And here are some instrument playing people here. Some guys playing instruments. Let's take a closer look. No, those are women too. You know what? Isn't that interesting? Huh. Isn't that interesting? Something about that. There you go. There are some of the men. Wearing clothes that should not be worn in a desert, surely not. Can you imagine trying to wear these clothes in a desert where it gets really hot? Oh my gosh, does that make any sense at all? Yeah. Okay, so this is obviously out of place. I mean, this is out of place fashion for where they actually are now. And yet, somehow, here we are. And I think it bears a lot more looking into, because if you ask me, we need to find out more about this, especially since it looks like they've got an ancient culture type living in basically George Jetson land. I mean, the city itself looks very futuristic. So that is so weird. It's a very futuristic city with very ancient looking costumes. Weird. Okay. Okay, so there you go. And it's not letting me go the other way. It's not letting me pull this back so I can go the other way on this. Maybe I have to keep going round and round and round. Yeah, it's mostly... How weird. I think they don't mean the Tater people. I think they mean the Tartar people. These... No, that's okay. No, that's Tatar. Never mind. We're going back the other way. But you can see that, wait a minute, they were dressed a lot alike, and that's Russia. How did they transpose the clothing? I think I'm onto something, folks. Okay, that is really weird. Oh, here, I found the men. Not like it's that much to see. They're certainly not as well dressed as the women. Okay, and this is some of their jewelry and stuff. This culture. Really fine weavings. Interesting. So this is the kind of stuff that they make. So interesting. Okay, going back now. And hope I haven't bored anybody. I found it interesting that we've got this ancient people in a very futuristic city. Ancient looking costumes in a futuristic city. I think it bears a lot more looking into, especially if they're right about the Antiquitech, then that means they've got free energy and we don't. Why don't we? Well, this country is off to itself. It keeps to itself. It's hard to even, they say it's hard to even get permission to visit there. They're very insular. So anyway, there you go, Titan. Hi, Etri. So basically, we have yet to find out where that trail is going to lead, but there are some people researching, and I think it's going to Turkmenistan. We're moving to Turkmenistan, where the energy's free and you get to dress like a princess. Well, actually, there's also this person, Daphne, was explaining that the rules are, they keep it very clean, but one of the rules about it is you're not allowed to have a dog. So if you want to have a dog there, you're not allowed to have one. And they don't let very many visitors in. Yeah, you can only put one man per each of us, or just one man. That would be horrible. Stuffing an extra man in the bag. Me too, Denali. Astana. No, I haven't. Hey, let me see if I can look it up and see if it'll throw me off or do some other stupid thing to me. And is it the same kind of thing? Are we talking the same kind of thing? Wait a minute. I have to get that name just right. Yeah, no, most people would not leave the dog behind. Astana. And it has Stan in the name. Let's see if we can find Stan. Another Stan. Okay, we found it. Wouldn't you know? Same thing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Astana. Yes. Astana looks to be. Okay, guys, I have a really big handbag, but you're going to have to crunch up a little bit. Because we're not leaving without our guys. No. And then those of you who have dogs will have to hide them too. You have to be in there with the dog. Yeah, Astana, another Stan name. Interesting, right? A lot of stands over there standing around together. Same kind of architecture. Look at that. And these places, is it another place out in the middle of the desert? Probably. Nightlife. Let me see what their nightlife is like. Looks very modern. And the city looks very futuristic, though. It's like Vegas. And they say Turkmenistan, too. It's like Vegas. It's lit up all night like Vegas and just lights everywhere. And what would be an enormous amount of lights if it wasn't for the fact that they're probably getting free energy. And then they need a lot of water to have cooling ponds for the free energy. So isn't it funny, because where are we getting our oil from? And what are they doing? They're not living on oil. They're using, see that thing there? They're probably calling that a water tower, that thing that's lit up right toward the middle there. They're probably calling that a water tower. That's not a water tower, not just a water tower. That very definitely has signs of what they're calling Antiquitech up on it there. And that's probably why all the lights and the water and everything are moving around. And if you look at the buildings, they also have little pointy things up on top of them, although they do not have the onion dome. So very interesting. And there we go again. Does it look familiar? Yeah. Does this look familiar? Yeah. A lot like the architecture we just saw in Turkmenistan. So those onion domes were not just for decoration, although these days they are. Actually in Tartaria, they were not decoration. They actually had a purpose. They collected energy. And I will try and get the link so that you can look into the free energy stuff yourself, how it's generating all this energy, how these things with a point on top, the way that the points collect energy, these pointy things and the way that the domes collect energy. But As you can see, here we got a very similar design. Although they dress all together differently, apparently, and are a lot less insular. Yep. Looks like they're a lot more modern clothing. But other than that, yeah. There's a pyramid. There you go. There's a pyramid right there. Interesting. So, what would the world be like if we had free energy? One of the things about Turkmenistan is that the big pole that you see, not this is Astana, and I'm not sure about this pole, but that structure that you saw in Turkmenistan that looked very modern, that was built a little bit like the Eiffel Tower, that was meant to represent that they're neutral and they're never going to war because they have everything they need. And that is probably because it's generating energy and they don't need any energy from anybody, so they can do whatever they want and say, with you. Pretty much. How many people want? Yeah, it looks like another planet. That's what I said. Doesn't it? Yeah. Hang on. Images have people and cars. Yes. I'm not sure what the problem is, Max. Oh, you've decided to make all the men up like women. Okay, that's good. Then we can all get that. Yeah, now I have reservations. But you can't have reservations. They won't hardly let you visit. It's very hard to get a pass to visit there, I guess. I don't know about Astana, but Turkmenistan, they're saying it's very hard to get there. So, hi, Murray. Nice to see you in. Yeah, just looking at the photos, it looks like a pretty nice place, actually, in a lot of ways. But the thing I can't get over is the Turkmenistan costumes, because I'm a costumer. I was a costumer. That's how I started my business, was as a costumer. And I'm looking at those things, and I know how those must have been made. That is not clothing that people wear in the middle of a hot desert climate. You don't wear, that is not clothing made for that place at all. So why is that their clothing? Yeah, I know. Intentional, Annie. Yeah, I know. It'd be hard to lose the beards, wouldn't it? So, and yeah, we suspect they have free energy, and doggone, we want some. We want it too. But now, I still want my Earthship village. And imagine an Earthship village, which already is, the Earthships are already self-sustaining. Imagine an Earthship village that had also that kind of architecture that could make energy, and basically we could sell energy. I mean, that could be what the town does, is sell energy off to everybody else. But I bet that they wouldn't let us do that. I bet we couldn't get by with it. right now, not the way things are now, because they're trying to shut down everybody who's off grid. Yeah, I'm wondering if those were festival clothes, but no, not in Turkmenistan. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's everyday clothing, whereas in Astana, it looks like they dress normally. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Deb is on tonight, going to be doing readings, but I've had, I do readings for myself, and I called with Deb, and I do readings back and forth, so I'm okay with it. She's probably going to have a ton of people getting readings, and honestly, I don't need to know that much personal information about people, but I will go in and say a few things, just to say, hey, I'm supporting Deb, but yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I kind of got to go in and support Sissy Pooh a little bit. Not that I really need a reading or anything, but I hope you enjoyed this little walk through an alien city. It looked like you're on another planet, but it's here on this planet. Um, I'm going to go over there after a few. Uh, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. Yeah, see, I'm not really, interested in everybody else's reading either right now. Yeah, well, it looks, the interesting part about all of that is, for me, well, one thing I'm wondering is why the strict rule about dogs. Or is it just to keep the city clean? The other thing is, yeah, I wonder, do they really dress like that all the time? But it looks like that's almost all the pictures you see. Whereas in Astana, they dress more like we do. Yeah, I love Deb too, and I'll go in and I'll say, "Hey, Deb, hey," and put a thumbs up on it and stuff. But yeah, for the rest of us, it's kind of so. Interesting part about free energy in Tartaria, well, is that we see these grids all over the world. People have found star forts. Wait a minute, I'll look that up for you. Let's see if I get lucky again. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I guess this is more about free energy, but honestly, who wouldn't rather have that? I mean, I'm freezing tonight. I won't turn up the heat very much because I don't want to have to pay for it. What would it be like if I didn't have to pay for it? That would be nice. Okay, and I found a bunch of them. Okay, we do have the ability to see star forts. I do have the ability to show you that. Here we go. And this gets into the actual investigation part of. I haven't done a whole lot of investigating for you, but here we go. These are found all over the world. And as you notice, they look a lot alike. And they're ancient. These are not modern. Kind of interesting. They're showing in Minecraft they have something similar. But the star forts, once again, here we go. These are found everywhere. Everywhere. They've found on every continent. They found them. I just realized something. This one is 8-pointed too. Well, isn't that interesting? Like that 8-pointed tower that's supposed to be the gates of heaven. What does that really mean? The gates of heaven, huh? And what happens? Wow, that's another very elaborate one. This is probably all. If people who knew their geometry real and the meaning of all the sacred geometry, I haven't yet taught you much about sacred geometry. We'll go into it one night, but geometry is part of magic. And what you see here is very intentional and amazing that if we didn't have communication all over the world, why the heck do these things all look alike? Well, not exactly alike, but I mean, it looks like they were designed by the same hand. So, come on. You know, this has got to be. There's got to be something to this. And were they forts? I don't think they were forts. It's just like they're calling the pyramids tombs. The pyramids aren't tombs. The pyramids were not meant to be tombs. They hardly ever find. They haven't really found them to be tombs yet. So where are all the people if they're tombs? But here you go. So that gives you some idea of what let's see, Starfort design, Starforts in America, Starfort map. Let's see what happens when we call up the maps. Wow, look at some of these. Holy wow. Some of these are really like some kind of fractal paradise. What? Wow. Some of these are extremely elaborate. And apparently, you know, the shape would alter the function. Just amazing that primitive people made this kind of thing, right? But they were just primitive people. Ancient star forts, this is. They were just primitive people. You know, this one over here looks like it has a brain in it. Wait a minute. Let's take a look at this thing. It looks like in the middle of this star fort, they've got something shaped more like a brain. There's your brain on star forts. Oh, that is weird. That is trippy. Look at that. Weird. Yep, that's your brain on star forts. Very interesting. So this is something else we can look into is they feel that probably the star forts function was once again probably some kind of power generating system. or something that they aren't really forts, because most of them would not do very well as forts, as actual forts, although they have been made into forts. Some of them originally were not really be sufficient for. And why would they be out in the middle of nowhere? A fort in the middle of nowhere? Because a lot of them are just nowhere. So here we go. And up here in this one, isn't that interesting? That looks like biology. Those stones that you're seeing up there, these could have very well have been life forms, ancient life forms. It's kind of hard to see because, but yeah, oh my gosh. The one of them looks like an elephant with people on its back. Do you guys see this, what I'm seeing? I'll see if I can make it bigger for you. Do a little bit of a zoom here. Well, let me zoom. Yeah, that is an elephant. That looks like an elephant over there. And it looks like there are some other creatures. That is bizarre. Whoa. Whoa. Oops. Okay, and here's the dams, which are all, they say that the dams were actually dug out, not newly built as we've been told, that most of the dams were already here. And there was a power company, a power plant that we used to drive by all the time when I was a kid on the way to Cuyahoga Falls, between Cuyahoga Falls and Akron. And it gave me the weirdest feeling every time we crossed over that bridge, because we crossed right over where the power plant was, and I just felt like, and when I looked at it, it just looked and felt like it was, and of course I was, even then I was, and especially then, I was very sensitive and had a tendency to pick up things but not be able to say them. But every time we drove over that, it seemed like it was way older and a little bit on the scary side. It used to kind of scare me for some reason. And I don't know exactly why it did, but I think it was dark. It was like the stones had been darkened by something, and we know that there was some kind of melted buildings, and that some of these things show signs of something pretty horrible happening. Some of these ruins show, basically it looks like the rocks were liquefying. That would be possibly from a plasma sort of event or something. Because it's pretty, it's gotta be pretty hot to melt cities. So interesting. Me too. Pareidolia. Pareidolia. Well, this is pareidolia. This is my pareidolie. I make them. Do you want to buy one? Well, I'll take the. It won't have strings hanging from it. Want to buy a pareidolie? Anyway. Yeah. Except the mud fossil Roger from Mud Fossil University has found out that many of these things have DNA in them. Now, he hasn't tested every single thing because you can't, because it's so expensive. But I don't know yet, Lewis. I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to have to make one and find out how long it takes me. But basically, that's one of my new gigs. I'm making pareidoilies in your favorite colors. I'm going to have to find out how much it's for your altar or something. Pareidoilies. Pareidolie. You only think you see a star shape in there. Maybe I'll make them. You know what? I should make some that look like star forts if I could do it. I should make some that look like the gates of heaven or the star forts or something. What, is somebody a poodle? Poddle? Etri? Is that English? A poodle doily? Poodle doily. Poodle doilia. That's when you see trolls everywhere. Poodle. That's when you see poodles and things that where they don't exist. Yeah, poodle is our code for those of you who haven't, because I don't see any trolls in here right now. Poodle is our code word for trolls. If we think we're seeing a troll, we say poodle. So we'll have to make some poodle doilies. I don't even know where to start with that, but I could probably do it. Poodle doily, the musical. Pareidolia, pareidolia. Oh, you look good to me. Poodle doilia. Make a pair of poodle doilies. Are you a... You gave me COVID. No, you didn't. It's just... Poodle doo dolls. I explained to the regulars, but I'll explain to you guys too. My grandma had this thing when she didn't want to swear in front of the kids. Instead of swearing, she would say poodle dog. So now every poodle dog, it really, in my mind, it means something bad. Okay. Okay, Murray. We'll let you go do that then. We don't want any puddles. You saw puddles, you saw poodles, you saw puddles, right? Poodles and puddles, puddles of poodles, poodle puddles. Don't step in the poodles. Gemini is here. It's going to get strange. Not like it could get any stranger. You already got this woman wearing a bear hat showing you pictures of space age cities with ancient people in them. Weird. It's weird, man. It's weird. Weird. This is a weird show. It's weird. Okay. A fry poodle. And then I was thinking, what would really be a disgusting name for a dog? Would be a cross between a Shih Tzu and a poodle. They gotta have it. It'd be a shit poodle. A shit poo. Isn't that what they call them? I'm like, that's a disgusting. A shit poo. Yeah, poodles do make puddles. They really do. You know, it's really funny because schnitzel with noodle. Okay, these are a few of my favorite things. There's a lady here who has a dog that she alternately, it alternates. The name of the dog alternates between Cuddles and Puddles. Cuddles is when it's being a good dog. And Puddles when it's not being a good dog. So, you know, I ask her, I say, well, is it Cuddles or Puddles today? She walks her dog by. Shittle. Shootle. Shittle. Oh, we're having too much fun. Poodoodle dandy. Poodoodle dandy, okay. Hey, my poodle doodle dandy. Oh, jeez. We're too weird. Yeah. Hey, for those of you who are smoking, you know, who are playing the Puff Puff Pass game, I bet you're having fun tonight with this show. It is kind of hallucinogenic tonight. It's just because ever since I held up the 60s blankie. Okay. No, I'm the captain of the Woo ship. I don't think I've ever steered wrong. We've gone kind of on side trips, but we seem to stay. And the larger picture, we seem to stay on course. Okay, Marie, this was nice seeing you. Trendsetters. Oh, we're having too much fun. Take care. The timing of the Christos. Well, see, that's something I haven't gotten around to that yet. However, I do have to say that I am going to do something about the reason of the season is the season. Oh, you're off. Well, yeah, Barry, you're off. We knew that about you. Oh, you mean you're leaving? Okay. But leave a couple nose hairs behind in case we have to, like, lasso anybody and pull them back into the ship in case they fall off the edge laughing. Okay, have good dreams, Barry. Barry and his magic nose hairs. Magical stylings of Barry and his nose hairs. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway, there you go. It just gets weirder. Tonight is just one of those weird nights. Yeah, this is a very special Christmas. We're having a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction or alignment. conjunction. I think it's all even a conjunction, which is interesting because that's my birth chart. So this happened during my birth chart, and my birthday being in December. So, and on the day I was born, Saturn was conjunct Jupiter by 1 degree. So this is me coming back. This is almost like a rebirth day for me. Oh, thanks, Barry. You know, it's just in case. Yeah, Max usually does his on Friday, Saturday, don't you, Max? His remote view stuff. Yeah, we'll keep those on hand. Yeah, well, it's interesting because 63 years ago, which is a multiple of 3, I was born. I think it's the other way around. Yeah, Saturn would be Kronos. So, yeah, Saturn is Jupiter's father. Maybe a reason for that. Saturn, there is a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that Saturn was probably our first sun. And it would have been a brown dwarf, and we would have been enveloped. And I've seen this time too. We would have been enveloped in a purple haze, literally. It would look a lot like my apartment right now, but we wouldn't have been able to see the stars because of the mist, and the sun would have just been a white thing that would go across the sky sometimes. That's all it would look like, and the atmosphere would be very different. And when that changed, probably a lot of horrible things happened to people on the surface. So, oh yeah, this is really huge. Yeah. This is all going on in Aquarius. So, you know, very interesting. And then I am streaming during this time. I'll be streaming that day. I'll be streaming. I'll go it. Okay. If you want to come and do a little intro, let me get rid of this thing. If you want to come and do a little intro, I don't see any trolls tonight. But even if we do, hi Les. Even if we do have trolls tonight, I just won't let them in. Put out a link and just not let them in, duh. It's pretty easy. So you can come in and set it up, and then we'll go over to your channel and see it. Clauses. Well, then I guess I better get my song done or found, because yeah, I wrote a song. I rewrote "Oh Holy Night." Yeah, I just don't let them in. Yep, I'll be there. I'll be there for that, Max Vision. The Santa Claus. the Sanity Clause. There ain't no Sanity Clause, is there? There can't be. Hey, Les. So basically what it would be every year, there's a couple of things I found out about this. First of all, when you see, and I think I said this on the last stream, when you see a cross, it wouldn't always be the cross that somebody died on. It would be, okay, at this time of the year, there's an interesting thing that happens in the northern latitudes with the sun. The sun moves gradually lower and lower on the horizon, and we get less and less light. And until, in some parts, it even sinks below the horizon for 3 days. That's the 3 days of darkness, you see? Then it starts heading back up again. So it happens every year, but apparently in the past there were times when it didn't happen because of one thing or another, and possibly because of so much stuff in the atmosphere that they couldn't even see it. So to them, the sun had disappeared, and it just about wiped out a lot of life on the planet when it happened. So, but every year this happens, and it is called the winter solstice, and it is the shortest day of the year, longest night. And so that was very important astrological thing, because to the ancients, astrology was mondo huge. I mean, it's even all through the Bible, though it's kind of hidden. People have kind of covered it up, but even the throne sits on the 4 cardinal signs. You'll find them listed, and the reason people don't understand it is because they have the eagle instead of the scorpion, but the eagle is another version of Scorpio. It's the other animal for Scorpio, probably the original animal for Scorpio, with Scorpio being the more lower version, the lower octave version. Yeah, well, there's even more to it than that. There's even more to the cross. There is an ancient device that they use to measure, to do the astronomical. I don't know if you've heard of the Antikythera artifact. Let me see if I can find it for you. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. If I can spell the darn thing. Okay. Yes, I can. I found it. Let me do a screen share for you. So there's even more to this, even more. See how this was all bound up together. And to them, everything it was connected, because everything is connected. It really is. You'll see how this is. Okay, this is the working model of something that was found anciently, an ancient artifact. This thing right here is what they found. No, that's not it. Sorry, folks. That's a replica. trying to find, there it is, because it's all crusty looking, it's all weathered. This is what they found. And when they examined it, the insides of it and everything, what they found out, yes, that this is an ancient computer that they found in a shipwreck. An ancient computer, not done with tubes or even microchips or any of that. This was done with, as you see, wheels within wheels. Now, the interesting part of this being that the Mayans, the Mayan calendar, and one of my teachers was Mayan, it was very important to them, their calendar. They were the timekeepers. And this wheel within wheel theory, and you hear about a wheel in a wheel from Ezekiel. There may have been more to it than just a spaceship. People assume that he's talking about a spaceship, and he might be, but he could also be, that could also be a reference to this. It was made from a bunch of brass wheels. And they found them inside there, that it actually ran on a bunch of brass wheels. And so this was a navigational device and a computer. So it was possibly the earliest computer that we have ever found. Let's see, an X-ray. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there we go, the X-ray. There you can see the X-ray of it. You can see all the other little wheels inside of it. And so this is a pretty clever mechanism for as old as it is. You have to admit. So the ancients knew something. Oh yeah, and the Ankh too. But the cross with a circle was actually also a calculation device. The same one that you see in the areas that were settled by certain ancient people. I believe that was Celtic or something. But it really, somebody has a working model of that too. The circle and the cross had to do, once again, with star mapping. Why? Yeah. All of these devices, ancient devices, more Antiquitech. What did I say a long time ago? I said it right in this crowd here. I think we had a very high level of technology before we were invaded. I think the microchips and all of that, and you got to admit, a lot of this was fostered by Bill Gates. It had a lot to do with really ramping this up. I think it's alien technology. I don't think it's ours. I think ours looked like what I showed you in Turkmenistan and the Antikythera device and these other devices. I think that's what our technology looked like. We had a whole different form of technology, and it was a lot less impactful on the earth. It was probably far more in harmony with the earth than what we have now. The stuff we have now is actually ripping everything apart here. So it's not right, because it's not right for the planet. It's actually harming the planet. This stuff would have been working right with the planet, with the way that the planet is already functions, and wasn't hurting it. So you got to realize we have evidence of this now. Just what I'm saying, just what I said, just what I suspected all along that this was leading to. So we could go back to that and have a wonderful planet and probably have our George Jetson lifestyle, our free energy and everything. We could probably have all that if we were allowed to. But somehow we've got to cross the barrier, go through this time and get out on the other side and make that reality happen. Okay. Yes. I don't believe, and you notice our cities are looking more and more like a motherboard. It's not our stuff. It's not, it doesn't work here. It tears the place apart. It's not good. Yeah. So, yeah. If you're kind of a geek like me, oh, come in here and tell us about the Ankh. Come on, quit screwing around and get in here for a minute, Max. And then set up the thing for your thing in your stream. Set up for what you're doing in your stream. Give us a teaser so we all are just salivating to get in there and see it. Well, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, I didn't see it first. You were hidden. Okay, I think you're live now.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
You were hidden.
Yeah, I
couldn't
came in
see
once
it.
before, but then I decided that you were talking about the Antikythera machine. That was pretty cool. So I went and brushed my teeth while you were talking about that.
Oh, well, cool. I'm glad I could give you a little time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, set us up for what
Oh,
we're in store for later tonight, and also tell us about the Ankh.
well, that was Denali mentioning about the Ankh. I hadn't mentioned about the Ankh. I'd like Denali's impression on the Ankh, if it relates to the
Molly, you
Christos.
can come in here too
Yeah.
if you want to. I got room for 10 people in here. So
Yeah, my show tonight is about the Christos. There is a process in you of the Christos. All the stories in all the ancient texts repeat the same story over and over again in different ways and different situations with different people, but it's the same story. It's the story of the descent and ascent of the Christ, of Odin, of Krishna. Pick any character you want.
are any of the sun gods probably?
Yep, any of the sun gods.
All of the sun gods have the same story.
Yep.
Or similar.
And this story is mirrored in the sky, and it's mirrored here on Earth, and it's mirrored in you. So, and it is part of the process of opening the third eye, part of the process of ascension, part of this process of bringing the Christ back to the planet. So I'm teaching how that happens, when it happens, and practices you can do to help this along.
Cool. Well, I'll certainly be there, Max. That's for sure.
I taught this about a year ago. I got several views on the video, quite a few. I was hoping for more, but I think it's like any teaching thing. You have to lather, rinse, and repeat, right?
Right. And you know what? Once again, I might see if I can find my notes on a class I did a long time ago now called The Sun Gods.
Oh, awesome.
we were talking about in that one, we were going through all the sun gods. Well, not all of them because there's over
Mhm.
128.
Yes.
But just going through them, just saying, here we go here we go there, and then there's this, and then there's that. And this, now we get to today, the latest
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
Well,
And that is an important part of this, because the Christos is actually timed with the moon, and the sun also has a part in it that people don't really pay attention to or notice or know about even. So that's another part of it too that I should discuss with people.
yeah, I'll be waiting to hear about that too, because this is up my alley again too. Once
Yep.
again, we're working on the same thing, Max.
Yep.
We're working towards the same thing. We're going to get our freaking history back. We're going to get our freaking history back, because if you can't remember your history, you
Yep.
may be doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
And from the looks of our history, there are some parts of it that we sure don't want to repeat. I'm looking at the mud floods, and I'm looking at some of these other destruction times, and
Mhm.
we really don't want to repeat that. We really don't.
No.
We need to know so that we can kind of brace ourselves for anything that could
Mhm.
be going on.
Mhm.
And especially right now, because I feel that we're at a real major crux point, and I think we're going to hit it probably right at this conjunction. So we've got to stay really positive. I'm probably going to be streaming that day.
Well, we do. I typed in your chat. Why do you think they are trying so desperately
To bring us down.
to bring us down at this moment?
Right,
This is a major moment for us.
right. This is a point when we should be heading upwards, definitely. And so we've got to resist all attempts to make us feel powerless, because I was being told very strongly today in my meditations. By the way, I've got to tell you, I've been taking Gold Ormus, and it's been very helpful.
Awesome.
And you can get gold sheets of, which I know some Gold Ormus is made from. You
Mhm.
can get edible gold sheets
Yep.
that
Yes,
are
you can.
24 karat, that are real gold,
Mhm.
that you can make your own Ormus with. And I may try that one day. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, you could roll that up into like a stick and use it like that. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't see why not. So basically, when I'm
That's an
thinking,
even cheaper method. I'll have to look into that, because I'm always trying to find ways for people to do it at home themselves.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I am a genius.
Yep.
Anyway, well, we've got things that we can do here. Let me tell you, since I've been taking the Gold Ormus again, it's kind of expensive to buy, though, is the problem.
Mhm. Yes, it is.
It is. However, I got a deal because it's Christmas, and they were having some kind of a deal, I guess. But it came into my range that I could get some
Gold Ormus.
purple mana Gold Ormus.
Wow. Yeah.
So
You could use that gold like an electrode to make colloidal. To make Ormus, you have to dissolve it in acid. It's quite It's quite a difficult process. I've done it once. It took a really long time. It took about 2 days.
yeah. Well, even if we are using the colloidal gold,
Mm-hmm.
that has got to be helpful.
Oh yes, yeah. I've been using it for 2 years, and
Colloidal silver and the other colloidal minerals.
it was I'd say the gold was very integral to my ascension. Yeah, it offers a balance of the brain activity.
Mm-hmm.
So when situations happen where normally most people would get mad, you're able to just look at it as an observer.
Yes. And actually, that's funny, because that's exactly when when the trolls came in and people were wondering what was going on, but I could smell them. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they weren't saying anything that weird or
Your
doing
intuition is on the rise. That's
but it was like there was a funny feeling about them and a smell. One of them came in saying they were Jesus Christ, by the way.
Oh, okay, sure.
So there you are.
Okay. Are you
Nice to see
are you a Christed person? That's awesome.
But yeah, but it was obvious that there was something behind there.
They obviously were not Christed, obviously.
Yeah, there was something else behind there, and I could smell it. I got rid of them. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna leave if I smell that. If I smell poodle on you, which is our word for troll, if I smell poodle on you, you're going. I'm sorry. Not real poodle, guys. Don't get alarmed.
I love real poodles. We already went over this. We all love standard poodles, and poodles are great.
Yes,
They're one of the smartest dogs out there.
Yeah, they
I
are.
actually do. I do like poodles. My wife doesn't like them as much as I do. If we got a dog, I'd like to get a poodle because they're intelligent.
I get my grandma. I can just see my grandma. I can hear my grandma in the background.
Poodle dog.
Poodle dog.
Yep.
I laugh every time. Okay, just so glad.
All right. Bye, Gemini Moon.
You've got all of this alchemy going over there.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you're an alchemist guy.
Yeah. I'm kind of a polymath. I don't know if you guys heard that term.
Polymath.
That's one who studies everything. So
Yeah, me
I
too.
do. I study everything. Bit of an alchemist, bit of a magician.
That's me too.
Yep. That's what it is. That's what the Druids called me. So
Yeah. Well, that can happen. Happens sometimes. Yeah, I look into all kinds of weird things,
yeah.
like information and knowledge.
I appreciate people who specialize, though. I because they get much more in depth in one subject, and they can really peel it apart.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's true. It's specialists are there for a reason. Yeah, specialists exist for a reason.
Yep.
So
we need all kinds. We need polymaths and specialists, and
yeah, everybody is putting the pieces back together.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw another, and this has got to be another thing from an advanced culture. Once again, there is over in Sardinia a cave where women would go to go through different stages of initiation into womanhood. And it was acoustically, they were made so that the acoustic vibrations of whatever you did in these caves would have a particular vibration. And you would have to know what you were doing when you were making these caves in order for them to be, there were like 5 of them. You'd have to know what you were doing in order to get the right shape, to get the particular vibration, because it was different. And people would go in, and when modern women go in, they can, if you are sensitive, you can feel that each of the stages, you can feel it in your body. You can feel it. So, and the vibration, if you tone, really also brings it forward. So it's like this wasn't primitive. This couldn't have been real primitive.
Mm-hmm.
You had to know what you were doing to do this. And the same thing with the pyramids. You couldn't be real primitive and come up with that. However, I do have to say something I noticed, that when Roger from Mud Fossil University showed a picture of what he said was a dragon scale, a fossilized dragon scale, a petrified dragon scale. It is pyramid shaped.
Yes, yeah. It's almost like a flattened diamond, really.
The bottom is more trench-like.
Yeah, it's got that hook on the bottom. On the longer part is actually the part that goes inside, and the shorter part is the part that sticks out. And there's a hook on that longer triangular piece at the bottom that
Yeah.
hooks into the next scale. It's a
Yeah.
really good system.
So it's really cool. I mean, is that, that has got to have something to do with why pyramids are that shape, right?
Oh, could be.
And why dragons are that magic. But yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I've seen that shape. I've seen that shape, even the bottom of it. Possibly the bottom of the pyramid, if we would look at it and be able to see through the soil, possibly the bottom of the pyramid would be shaped exactly
It could
like
be.
the dragon scale.
It could be. Could be just one giant dragon scale they used. Roger seems to think it was the bottom of a foot, or not the bottom of a foot, but just at the heel section, and that they built it from the top down. That's what I think his theory on that is.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
See that one. I don't know about that
Yeah.
one. He's
That
really
one just doesn't make much sense to me.
doesn't
You know,
really,
but
But you know what? This is weird. This is weird if you think about it. Roger has been, and they've tried to discredit Roger through everything.
oh yeah,
Tests keep coming back. He's finding DNA in rocks. And it keeps coming back that all of these things, even the giant ones,
yep,
the dragons, of course, and stuff, but even the giant human body parts are still coming back as human DNA.
I'm wondering what would happen if he did test the dragon parts, if they would come back human as well.
I wonder too.
Because
I wonder.
the Bible does say that man was made from the dust of the earth.
Be very interesting to find out. Hey, Rainbow. Rainbow's in.
Hey, Paula, going live in an hour, hon.
Yeah, so basically, we have a lot of questions. We don't have all the answers, but we are getting down we are going down that path to where we're going to find them. And you know what? It's funny because I have been in this for a long, long time. I have been looking around for a long, long time at things. And let me tell you, I know some people that I met a long time ago that have streams now, have been streaming for a while, that when I met them, they were the standard form of Christian.
Yeah.
The Bible belting type Christians. And I told them back then when I met them, because they were giving me all kinds of hassles. And when I met them, I said, oh, you're studying, you're scholars, you're really studying, are you? Well, then I'm going to tell you, one day you're going to think a lot more like I do.
Yeah.
Because I already been down that path and I know where it leads.
Yep.
So they thought that was hilarious. Except now when I go and look at their shows, hell yeah, that's exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was saying back then. It's like I'm years ahead of you guys.
Yeah.
So
2 steps ahead. Yeah.
I'm way ahead.
We're just waiting for the rest to catch up. That's all.
We're just waiting for y'all to catch up.
Just have patience. They'll come along eventually.
Well, if you're studying that line, there's this is the only conclusions you can come to. So, if
Right.
you're really looking into it, that's what the evidence says. If you're being honest, that's what you're going to find. So there you go.
One of the Druid precepts is to see all, study all, and suffer all. So
Yes.
if you haven't done that, then you haven't done your work.
There's
Obviously,
a lot
you
of
can't
work
study
to do on
everything.
that road, right?
Hmm?
A lot of work. And so
Yeah.
I hesitate when people ask me if I'm a Christian, because it's not going to be the kind you think.
Mm-hmm.
Not the way that you think.
I believe in the Christ, but not the way you do.
Yeah, this idea of the Christ is one thing, but the way that Christians these days practice is a whole different ball of wax. So the idea...
Gandhi said about the Christians, I like Christianity. It's the Christians I don't like.
People, yeah. It's like, oh, that's also embodied in the, oh,
The
Jesus.
teachings are good, but the Christians have messed it all up.
Oh, Christ, please spare me from your people, followers. Some of them want to think they're Hebrew children, and they are not.
Mhm.
And I mean, they read the Bible and they get all of these strange ideas because of what the preachers are telling them about it. And then they even try to tell me things like astrology is bad and evil. And
With cardinals and deacons running around in your churches.
yeah, I mean, I'm
You know, they haven't got a clue. You just show them what a deacon is.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
actually, a lot of people who are into astrology don't even know what a deacon is. Deacon is a 10 degree separation of a sign. I'm in the third deacon of Virgo. And if you use that, you can go online and look up your deacon and get a more refined reading of your sign.
that's right. And you can, and the cardinal is the cardinals.
Yeah. What do you think? It's a little
Fine.
birdie? Is it a little birdie
Yeah.
or is it a cardinal sign? You
Yeah.
know, come on.
And honestly, seriously, and yeah, like I said, what the throne
Look
is.
up the word Maseroth. The only word they did not translate from Greek into English. Maseroth.
Right.
Actually, I think it's even Hebrew. They didn't even translate it to the Greek, as far as I know. But
Nazareth. I'll
yeah,
have to look that up.
Maseroth means zodiac.
Nazarene, the zodiac guy.
No, Maseroth.
Mazaroth.
Mazzarath.
Oh, Mazaroth. I thought you were saying Nazareth, and I'm like, Jesus of Nazareth?
There's the Circuit of Galilee. That's also a representation of the zodiac in the Bible.
That's another zodiac thing. I kind of expected a lot of this because, once again, here we go. It's connected to this event that happens in the sky, and you can see it every year.
Mm-hmm.
How that all connects and how that is. But then again, here we go with the holofractal theory and why I think that they're onto something with the holofractal theory. Because what is a hologram and what is a fractal? It's not a lot of little pieces. A fractal is everything is really one big piece. It just looks like it's different because there's all these different little versions of it budding off from the main piece. So that are a copy, and sometimes an imperfect copy of the main piece.
Mm-hmm.
So the main pattern. So it's a pattern. It's a pattern. And the hologram, of course, makes it 3D. And in our world, I guess it makes it even more than 3D. It makes it appear real, what we consider reality.
Yeah.
The truth will set you free, the kingdom of within, of course.
It's the electromagnetic force that makes it real for us.
Yeah, and I was really, really hearing a lot talk about that, about this kind of thing, and here you come in with that. This kind of thing, we need to really bear in mind that this is what was supposed to be our birthright, that this gold ormus, that they were swiping gold from here to make gold, because Sitchin is saying, and others were saying, oh, it's to put in the atmosphere. And well,
yeah, sure. Why not? Put it in the atmosphere. You'll be breathing it in. You'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah, you could do that. But, or are they making gold, or maybe ours also?
We made mufka cakes for them. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
The Egyptians made mufka cakes for the gods when they were here, and for the high priests. And mufka cakes, they believe, were made with gold ormus,
which would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you want that connection, what it does is it helps you connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
There's another kind of a side thing from another remote viewer, by the way, who had a chance to remote view something that happened with ETs in a ship. Mm-hmm. Basically, that they were working on something that they didn't want people to be seeing, and they were spraying something. And what they were spraying, what he was getting is what they were spraying was stuff that made you not able to connect the dots,
Oh,
made you disconnect in your brain what was going on. So you see something in the sky and you see something happen on the ground, you can't connect the two, that they have any meaning or relationship to each other. But if you do that on a large scale, what happens? There are so many people that cannot connect A with B now. I mean, I go out there and I'm amazed that there are people who still buy everything they're being told. They can't see A, B, C, connect the dots.
yeah.
See the picture right there. It's right there. It's obvious.
Yep. And they just don't see it.
See it. Is this what's really being done? Is this what the spraying really is? Is it making it harder and harder for people to connect the dots, to be able to make relationships? And what's happening in our society? Hard time making relationship. People are having harder and harder
Good
time
one,
making
Teresa.
relationships. Yeah, basically gold mines. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll even talk about where exactly.
Paula will love that one. She loves fun with words.
where to find gold. Roger can tell you where to find gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's going to be lodged in certain places because it's the gold that dropped out of the giant's blood.
Yeah. But they've mined a lot of that and taken it. They claim in some interpretations of the Sumerian tablets that they actually mined the oceans as well, that there was monatomic elements in the oceans, and they took all that.
I believe that could be.
So then they had to move on to the land to get it, and they started mining, and that's when we came along.
See, that's the thing. I have a life, and I have checked this a few times, a few ways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was at one time, I spent a life as an Anunnaki right at that time. Right at that time when they were discussing making these life forms based on their own pattern, and people were protesting just like we do now about the GMOs, and that we don't want to think that. And I remember telling people back at that time, because they were saying, oh, don't worry, they're not going to be, we're not going to put the spirit in them. We're just going to put, it's just going to be different. And it's like, no, they started putting, first, I think this is probably what happened to the Ajiji.
Yeah.
That launched the rebellion, is that they said, okay, you're going to be workers now, whether you like it or not. But then I said, you watch it. There are going to be more of us ending up in those bodies. Because that's going to be the way that you do political prisoners right there.
Yeah.
And I think that is what happened. I think what happened is because it's really a version of their body, but they turned off some things. Is what I saw back then anyway. And if this is real and not just a dream, not just my crazy imagination, then we're actually...
We have a fused chromosome.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it's 38 and 39. I'm not sure on that number. But we're the only we're the only creature on the planet with a fused chromosome.
Exactly. And there's got to be some reason for that.
Yeah.
There's got to be some reason that they think we're descended from apes. Why are we not more adapted to this planet?
Why aren't we as strong as an ape?
Yeah. They're much stronger than we are. They're way more adapted to this planet than we are. So, and riddle me this, riddle me that, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But with epigenetics, we do have the ability to change our genes.
That's right. My genes do need changing from time to time.
Yep.
Got to wash them out.
We'll wash them, yeah.
We'll wash it from time to time. Well, you know what? It's really one of those things we have to look at again and again, because we know that we're being sidetracked as much as possible.
Yeah.
All kinds of red herrings being thrown in the path.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very important to stay focused at this time of year and all the year, but especially at this time when they're telling you to feast, which you shouldn't do, right? They're telling you to drink and party. So you know that pretty much everything they're going to tell you to do is the opposite of what you should do.
Right. Whatever you should do, whatever they're telling you, you should be doing.
Yeah. If you should be, they tell you should be spending money, having parties, and
Well, the funny thing is for a while there, they were trying to stop us from spending. But here's the thing: what has this done? They want us.
they're okay with us not spending now because they've collected all of the baubles.
They've collected the baubles. Yeah.
Right?
Now you can stop spending. We've got it. And like I said back in this show that it was called Lex, and it was a really weird show. But I think they had it. I think somebody got it right. What the plan was, because they were just taking everything and feeding it into a big insect machine. It was a living machine, insect type thing. So we did a remote view. I did a remote. And I went back before the event. Somebody wanted to go to. It wasn't Machu Picchu. It was Pumapunku.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it was a rocking place at one time in its heyday.
Yeah.
It was a really rocking place. And the thing that we couldn't get over was all the beautiful fruit. It looked wonderful. And we were also hungry, wanting to eat some of this fruit. And it was like, oh, this is making me hungry, because it was just piled everywhere and people were having a party and there were dancers and we got to see what it looked like. And then I said, gee, I want to see how this place was made. But what I saw before it was made was something that I didn't understand at first. It looked like I was going to be eaten by some kind of a creature. There's these great big jaws coming at me, and I literally almost hopped out of my skin. But I didn't have any skin to hop out of. But I had to move myself away from it to be able to see it, because it was huge. It was really humongous. So this thing was some kind of, and at first it looked like it was a living creature, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a machine. And it looked like it was eating sand and rocks, and not rocks even, sand and dirt and vegetation and stuff, and pooping out blocks of, different shapes and sizes, and right where it wanted them to. And I realized what I was looking at. Now that I have this concept of what a printer does, a 3D printer does, this thing was a 3D printer that somehow looked like a living organism. They had designed to look like a living organism, and maybe it even functioned a bit like one. But it was actually making blocks somewhere within it. Possibly you could program it to make, maybe that's why the blocks fit so perfectly. Probably they're doing some to get it to be just the size and shape that they want it, that they've already pre-designed on some kind of a graph or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing was pooping them out where it needed to be.
Oh, maybe they were making those H blocks.
Yeah, and I'm like,
because most of the Cyclopean architecture looks like blobs of meat, like Roger describes, but the H blocks and that particular site, that looks machined with a router and or laser cut. I don't know what they cut that stuff with, but to get those angles and all those things is the right size. That's
whatever it was eating stuff and pooping it out on the other side, and it was just, and I realized this is like a printer. It's just like a printer.
There are mining machines. There are ancient little tiny gold statues of machines with big augers on the front. They look they kind of make them look like monsters, but they're machines for grinding up dirt, pretty much, that we would use today.
Well, I'll tell you, that's what this thing looked like.
Okay, so you're probably seeing a mining machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a mining machine that also somehow processes
Yeah.
it.
That could very well be, because a lot of the images had what looked like a box shape with what could be a conveyor belt going right down to the box.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is honestly, I saw that. Now, nobody else was with me to see that. I wish you could have been there.
Mm.
Yeah, if you could touch, and you know what, you can, and we'll go back again.
Yeah. Oh, I
We'll
can
go
go
back.
there. I'll go there.
Okay,
Take me a
we'll
minute.
go tonight.
Won't take me a minute to go there.
We've already been there, so we can find our way back. I've been there. I can find my way back, and I can pull you all back there. I think. I've never tried it, but hey, you never know until you try. You should be able to get there. You can see it for yourself. A couple of people saw it. That's right. A couple
I'm
of
there.
people see it.
That's why they did the terracing the way they did too.
Yes. Really, really, really advanced machinery, but it was machinery, but it looked like a monster. It would look like a monster.
Yeah.
And it was made to look like a living thing. That was their sense of aesthetics.
Yeah.
I get that was the way that they made things. They just made things look like living creatures because that was their sense of
Oh,
aesthetics.
the one I'm seeing has it's almost like a lion's mane or a flower on the top of it. That's neat.
Well, and then we don't know what they powered it with, but it could be some Antiquitech, like
Yeah.
flower could have been some kind of energy collector. We don't know.
Yeah, that could be.
We see, that's just it. If we go in and we see it ourselves, it's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we can be told by all these people that this may be and that may be, and how these stones were moved. And actually, it may all be true.
Mm-hmm.
Because, then there's also Michael Tellinger that talks about the Coral Castle, how that the stuff was moved in Coral Castle the same way that it was in Africa, in South Africa, with these cone-shaped objects in vibration, which can also be, but that doesn't preclude, none of these things precludes all the other ways.
No, there was many different cultures at many different times.
Right. And they could have had different ways of doing stuff, or different ways of doing stuff at different times, or different ways of doing stuff for different situations, just like we do today. We have different brands. We have different people coming up with different solutions for this problem. And it was probably just like that then, because guess what? We're descendants. So yeah, this is just because this turns out to be true doesn't mean that can also not be true.
Mm-hmm.
We've got so much. Oh, here comes Linda. Hi, Linda. Yeah, I think, wasn't Linda one of the ones that saw this creature that was eating dirt and pooping out bricks, pooping out big blocks? Yeah, Denali saw. I think Denali and somebody else, Linda. I think it might have been Linda. Anyway, so we can see this stuff. We don't have to be idiots. We don't have to be dumb. We can find out what really happened. And there are some people that were even surprised that they could see it. It's like, I don't know how it is that I'm seeing this so clearly. Because you're there.
Because you're there.
You're there. Now, this is what I was told to bring up. Yeah, I thought it was Linda. Linda was one of them. Yes. Yes. So here's the thing. And Farsight came to the same conclusion. The Farsight Institute, which is another remote viewing group. They came to the very same conclusion. This proves something to us. We can go anywhere. Anywhere. Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere. Any when, we can also go any when. Okay? Any location in time and any location in space. What does that really mean? That means that you exist everywhere. Therefore, you are eternal. You are eternal. And what else exists everywhere? Well, God does. Why? You're divine. In order to be God, God would have to be everything in order to fulfill all of the things we want in a God. So I'm like, yeah, it's because God is everywhere. We can be there. We're eternal because we're part of that. We're, you are not a spirit in a body. You are a spirit using a little Avi to interface this place, this realm. That is what really you, but you are a being. You are a huge, powerful being. And we can't forget that. And that's what we've forgotten. We've got to remember that we really were made to co-create. And we have those creation abilities. We have those manifestation abilities. And don't you forget it. If we ever get together and would decide that things would be thus and so, then it would be. It would have to be, because it would have no choice. Reality would have no choice to conform to that. So just bear that in mind. And I'm going to go more into this at another time. This may be preaching or preaching to the choir, but for some reason I was told that I had to bring this up again. You remember that you're divine. Remember who you are. You're divine. You're not lowly worms. You're not to be anybody's slave. You aren't here to be anybody's slave. You are not slaves. You are beings with vast abilities. And you can learn to wield them in these, and that's part of the trick. Is it's like a magician's trick. It's some species call us the masters of limitation. Why? Because we come here and we master limitation. We're extremely limited here. Yeah, when we find out that a lot of these ETs and some of the people even that dwell within the earth, according to some, that they are all seem to be able to do, even Sasquatch can do mind speak, and we don't commonly do that. We have unbelievable limitation here, but we can overcome all that limitation. And it's like watching Houdini, an escape artist, get out of the trap, right?
Yep.
And we're testing ourselves. Can we get beyond that? Can we get beyond that? Even this horrible limitation that's been placed on us. Can we get beyond that too? Can we get ourselves out of it? Guess what, guys? We're going to get ourselves out of this shit. We really are. We will. I promise. With the bear hat and glasses. Yes, I am. I look a lot like Maynard right now. Maynard is my bear shaman guy that helps me do some spirit pieces, returning people's errant spirit pieces. That they call it soul catching. Never mind. We went into that in another show. I'll go into it more maybe sometime later, but you can, through all kinds of trauma and so on, you can lose bits of yourself throughout time, and all of the stuff that we've suffered because of a mechanism that we have that keeps us from actually, there's a line in that song, and I almost hate to quote it, but what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. That's true. That's built in so that we can keep functional when we need to. We have a tendency to forget things that are horribly traumatic and bury them. So very many things can peel little bits of you and kind of lock them away from you. And then the shaman's job is to do the soul retrieval, what they call soul retrieval, which is really spirit retrieval, which is getting back these little errant parts of you that have gotten separated from you. So, and they know that torture, and this was in the MK Ultra stuff, will shatter you. They know this, and they were using it. See, they were using that mechanism that we have.
Hmm.
So to shatter people into different personalities. So that's another part of this. I'm telling you, everything is part of the same thing. It's not all separate. It's all part of the same
Yeah.
plan, same thing. When you look at it, you could go mad looking at it, maybe, but it's all really connected.
Yeah.
So even if you don't think it is so, I don't want to hear anybody out there going, well, with the selective weirdness, they call it. Somebody named it selective weirdness. Well, I'm going to believe in Sasquatch, but I don't know about this alien thing. Or I'm going to believe in spirits, but I don't know about Sasquatch. Or I'm going to believe in, it's like, it's all connected. There's no, never mind. I've said enough. That's my rant for the night.
All right.
Love you guys. I don't want to over rant, but there you go. Soul retrievals.
I
Yeah,
learned that.
they call it, although it's really spirit retrieval because soul is something else. Soul is really your body, but we won't go into that right now. Your soul is actually your body, though, really. So, and by the way, I was supposed to also tell you, remember, nobody needs to give you eternal life. You are eternally existent already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your body is another story, okay? Giving your body eternal life is another story. Now, see, this is interesting. So, and I'm not going to go into why your body is really your soul, but in this case, if you believe, like the one fellow was saying that said there were 150 different kinds of gray aliens. Each one of them represents a civilization that was taken over and enslaved, because that's what they do. They change your DNA and make you into a gray slave. So if you see a gray, it is a slave. It is enslaved. It has been enslaved, and each one of those is a civilization that was enslaved. So if that's what the DNA changes are about, that would be capturing your soul. Now, that doesn't mean they can't feed on your spirit too, because we make all kinds of wonderful things. We're like their sweet little honeybees. We make all kinds of things that they like to feed on, especially the emotional eaters.
Mm-hmm.
But which means different when you're in diet jargon, but the ones that eat our emotions are particularly fond of us being terrified and that sort of thing, and being put into a constant state of fight and flight, which also makes you not function very well and not think very well, because you're really then geared up to act, not think.
Yeah.
So once again, it's to keep you from connecting any dots. So you don't have time when you're running away from something in terror. I just saw what happens to a person who is in constant fight and flight. She ended up with a heart murmur. And right now she's recovering in a psych ward. So, yeah, unfortunately she's a gifted person and a very knowledgeable and a healer type, but also very driven and also extremely fearful, and became extremely fearful and would not shut off. And
that can turn into neurosis. Yeah.
And now has been diagnosed with extreme manic depression. Now, she's also, since she's calmed down a bit and got some medicine for her heart and her thyroid and some other things, and I'm not going to mention names here, but since she's had some time to rest, she realizes that she might be in there for other reasons too, because some of the people that she's finding there seem to know things. Some of these crazy people seem to be aware of having actually have awarenesses. Now, I noticed this in New Orleans when my car was broken into and my stuff was stolen. I had to stay at somebody's place for a little while, but she said it's just finally what? Oh, I'll have to look at what Denali's saying, or I'll forget what I'm saying. I'll have to look at it later, dear. We got an offer for this woman. She says, well, I have plenty of room in my place. The only thing is that there is right now I am housing temporarily mental patients, the ones that need very light care, light supervision.
Mhm.
So they're not terribly sick. They're not violent or anything, but you would be rubbing shoulders with them. So for while I was there during that time, I got to talk and see some of them and see what some of them were thinking. And don't you know that this guy that said he blew his brain out on drugs, he said, I blew my mind with drugs. And everything that he was talking about, though, had a correlation to what really was going on. It's just he was misinterpreting it all.
Yeah.
So his mind was really cracked open, all right, but he had no way to interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Egg. He's back.
Yes, that's a very good method of doing that, Denali. They are not yours. The natural state of human beings is one of euphoria and happiness and love. They're also attacking us with the electronics, the radiation. 68 Tesla, if you get an emitter, 68 Tesla starts affecting people's mood. When it gets up to 71 to 74, people start getting sick. So, yeah, your moods are being affected. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. That is absolutely happening. Absolutely. And yeah, music is a way to escape that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change it. You can change it by changing what you're listening to and changing what you choose to think.
I use a frequency generator every day when I sleep and when I can at work.
I have a frequency generator too on my phone.
Yeah, try 528, 432, and 528. They're synonymous with each other. They're best played together. That and one of the other Schumann resonance from the chakra system is good. I'll be talking about that a little later tonight too. So.
432 was my address once.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's weird.
And 532 is the best. All right, Scottish Egg.
So, yeah, that's very weird, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, and another one of my addresses was 123.
Awesome. Yeah, 432 and 528 together are DNA and RNA repairing frequencies. And we need that because your DNA and RNA are being blasted right now.
Once again, I would recommend hardly going to Dr. Virtual 7's site, DR Virtual 7. And he is one of the hardest working sound alchemists I have ever seen. He's been through quite a lot too. I mean, there's been people trying to shut him down, but every time we need something in particular, he comes, he spits out a lovely version of whatever it is we're needing the most right now. And, it's phenomenal. People just say, I was asking in my head, not overtly, not asking him over, just asking in my head. I was thinking, you know what I need? I need this. Boom, Dr. Virtual puts it out.
What's his name, Dr. Virtual?
DR Virtual 7. And he has, I think, a couple of channels, and it's a little bit different which one. There's DR Virtual 7, and there's DR Virtual 7.
Empowerment Dynamics.
Empowerment Dynamics, yeah.
Interesting. I will send him.
Yes, absolutely. Go listen to that guy. I will send all the traffic I can his way.
Yeah.
He is a true genius when it comes to this. And
Excellent.
he's very intuitive, very intuitive. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, though.
Yeah.
There's many more. There's many more good ones, and you kind of have to find them.
Yep. I listen to Meditative Mind while I do my shows to put people in the right mindset.
I have 5 Himalayan salt lamps in different rooms of the house.
No, Meditative Mind is a YouTube channel that plays frequencies. With
Yeah,
music.
Meditative Mind's another one. Magnetic Mind's another one.
Magnetic Mind. Okay.
I don't care much for Spirit Tribe Awakening. And they keep throwing that in, and I'm not much for theirs. It's too...
I don't even use chanting or anything like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, so I got 5 Himalayan salt lamps. I've got...
I only have 2. I have 2. And I try not to eat them, but...
Right, try not to eat them when I need a little bit of extra.
I just bought a lamp last week, so I'm good for Ormus for a while. I won't eat my lamps.
What, Linda? Wait, we got to take care of Linda. That's not good. We've got to get rid of that. Linda, we're going to get rid of that thing. That
Okay.
is good.
You can do a banishing ritual, or you can use my method of go into the astral, see its ugliness, see what it wants you to see, and send it love. And try and give it a hug. It will run. It will run like the Dickens.
We just go in and...
Yeah, I'll go give him some love. Come here, buddy.
What I do is I just say, you know what? You don't belong here. Here's the door out. I'm not that nice. I'm a little meaner, I guess.
Now you can also salt the corners of your house with the intention of cleansing, and give the spirits warning while you're doing it, because some of them could get trapped.
Or you can just, like I said, I often get called to just come over there and say, you know what, you're not supposed to be here, now you've got to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Out. And then we open a little door for them to get out, and they go. And they have to. But yeah, and they call it ghost busting, and it's ridiculous because you're never busting it. Ghosts are not generally the big problem. The big problem is the other stuff. Ghosts are a minor thing. I mean, you can usually talk them into leaving pretty easily, unless they're really angry. The really angry one, I had to talk to them a little bit more. But there was a poltergeist that was had every reason to be angry. I mean, his family had been killed, and his land stolen, so he had every right to be angry about it. But I said, you know, the people that are living there now don't know anything about it and didn't have anything to do with it. You know, they're just poor. They're just living there because they're poor and there's nowhere else they can live. And you know what? I reasoned with him, and he just finally said, yeah, you're right. I said, you know, your family's waiting for you. Don't you know that it's been over 100 years?
So Linda, look for him now. See if he's gone.
Oh, this isn't a spirit.
Oh, what is it then? What do you think it is?
Could be something else. We may have to take a look.
It's a bug.
Yeah, there are some of those because C-Max, yeah, not everything's a spirit.
I just call them entities. Everything to me is an entity. They all just do different things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't get Zach Bagans. Are you kidding me, Lewis? Come on, get somebody real, like me. Almost anybody here is more real than Zach Bagans. Come on, Max is more real than Zach Bagans. I'm more real. Denali's more real than Zach Bagans. Okay, nothing against Zach Bagans. He has a
Send him a little love. Send him a little loving.
It's fun.
Makes it go away.
He just wants a little buggy kiss.
Negative entities can't handle love energy. It makes them diminish in power, so they run.
That's deer medicine, by the way. That's exactly the story of deer medicine
Is it?
in the cards, in
Yeah.
the animal medicine cards. Deer is going up Sacred Mountain to meet Great Spirit and runs into a nasty monster. And the nasty monster tries so hard to scare her. Instead, she just looks at him with love and kindness and says, "Oh, gee, it must be really miserable to be a monster.
Mhm.
It must be seriously miserable to be a monster. Gee, I'm so sorry you have to be a monster." Basically, I'm paraphrasing. And it's just that, really, I'm so sorry for you. But she just keeps going anyway. She just keeps on her path.
Yeah.
And he just finds that he can't do anything after a while because she just refuses to be afraid of him and refuses to give him the response that he wants.
In the Nag Hammadi scriptures, I believe it's on the principalities and powers. There's an entity, and a man has an entity come to him and hassle him, and he calls upon God, and God sends an angel, and the angel asks him what he wants, because the entity was already gone, just by the man wanting it to be gone and asking for God's power to make it gone. He didn't have to do it. God didn't do anything. The man did it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, because the angel asked him, "What do you need me for?" Because it was already done.
Yeah. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that. I don't remember that
I
one.
believe it's on the or powers and principalities. I can't remember the exact book.
It doesn't stay there. It comes and goes. Denali's on the case. She'll find out what it is.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Max, I hate to have to disagree with you. I have not. There are some things that would not go with that technique that I have run into.
There are some latching physical entities that can be really troublesome.
Yes, because some things are not just spirits, and some
Yeah.
are not.
Yeah. Some of them have, like, an entity would be just an energetic creature acting on its own. Something like that I would call an ent or an imp. They have different actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imps are different. There's all kinds of different. Well, Scottish Egg, you have to be a member of the core group, which you are not, so you will not be a mod. So, sorry. But it's impossible in your case. No new mods. The core group became mods, and that's it.
Yep, I did my modding about a year ago, and I haven't made one since, and I don't need to because one or two of them show up every time my show goes on. So,
Mm-hmm. So anyway, why do you need to become a mod anyway? It's kind of a hassle. You got to boot people. Yeah, if you're in chat on a regular basis for about 6 months and we decide we like you, then maybe there's a chance.
I don't make any new mods, so it wouldn't be.
But, yeah, I just made everybody that was in the core group that I knew for a long time, that I knew was okay. I just made them all mods, and that's it for now. And that's all I'm going to make that I know of.
I was modless for 2 years, and then I just decided, okay, I'll make some mods. And I made about 15, and haven't made any since. Yeah.
Seems to be like my apartment, but blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, we'll get you there.
She got
Scott Shig just got here. Rotman's in here. Hey, Ken, how you doing? Okay, sorry, Scottish Egg, but that's just the way it is.
Huh.
We just have to be that way. I'm tired of making mods now for a while. I don't need any more. I got plenty. So anyway, I got enough for maybe years now.
Well, so, I got to get going.
Yeah.
I have a show starting in about 20 minutes.
It's almost 12.
Yep.
Well, guys, yeah, Max's show is going to start soon, and I've got to pop over. Hey, Ken, and I've got to pop over to Portal and just say, "Hey, my sissy poo dad, you're great," and say, "Hey," and then I will continue on to Max's, and then after Max's, if there's still time, I'll go over to Paisley's, and then I'll see you wherever you land. And
Much love, guys. Have a good night.
much love. I'm going to start closing her down now. We've got a little bit of time. If anybody say you're see you on the way outs type thing, because sorry, Ken, but we've already been on for over 2.5 hours. So okay, and Lewis was here for a first time. So, or was it the second time? And so Lewis is here. So I'm glad to see Lewis. I hope you come back, Lewis, because I think you belong here with us. Yeah. I'm gonna go and watch. I usually try and get in and say at least hi to everybody. I say hi to the Portal, and then I say hi to Max, and then I say hi to Paisley, and then I say, whoever else. You know what? We will, Linda. I'm going to try and be in tomorrow. And I'm, kind of got things to do tonight. I would be happy to help you with that. And I'm sure we all will help you with that. Denali's going to help you. Yeah, good. Yeah, we can help you. Don't worry. It's going to get handled. Yeah, because that's what we're here for. Those of us who deal with these things, that's what we're here for. Thank God I don't have to do them all now. There's actually somebody else that can do them. Oh, was Chris and Shuri on earlier? I missed them. Oh, I miss them a lot of times. That sucks. Yeah. Can't wait to see what they do next. That's like yep. I see you there all the time too, Ken, so. Yeah. Yep. I don't know about Jimmy Jean. Jimmy Jean. Oh, yeah, Jimmy Jean is on. I'd have to go and look at Jimmy Jean. So I got plenty I got to say hi to, and then I have to, the next time they're going to Trump. Oh, yeah, I was around for that. Remember, Ken, when they were announcing that? Yeah, I was there with you. Yeah, they're going to Trump Tower next. Well, we're on the positive timeline, but that might be because everybody's doing what they're doing. And I said as much on that video, Ken. As a comment, I said it might be because everybody's doing what they're going to do. Long time ago, I was wondering why I was getting so hassled. I said, what did I do that would make people angry enough at me to give me all this trouble? And it was like a comment, it's not what you've done, it's what you're going to do. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But I think I see it now. There are things we're going to do, and what we have done since then, what I have done, I can see why somebody would want to stop that before I could get to the point where they couldn't stop me. Yeah, I could see where somebody might want to try and stop that. So, too bad. Sorry about your luck. Not really sorry, though, at all. Sorry, not sorry. That's right. Well, here's an interesting thing about graduation. I had a dream, Teresa. Here's another little thing before I finish up here. I had a dream one time. I was looking in this very old building, and it looks like a Tartarian building, actually, that I was in. And I was all dressed for a graduation party. But I was running up and down trying to find the right room, the right floor. And so I walked outside for a minute to try and get my bearings. And when I looked at the building had the floors marked on it. I was looking for the 6th floor, which is where the party was supposed to be, the graduation party. But it turned out that in my building, the ground floor was level 22, which is a master number. So why couldn't I find the party? If I'm counting from the ground floor up, I'm not going to find it on level 6 because that isn't the way to get to level 6. I'm already way past that. Okay. I'm like, okay, I get it. I came back in here for something else. Yes. Okay. I get it. Okay, Trigger. Like Roy Rogers' horse. Ken's got a new nickname. We'll call him Trigger. So basically, I came in on level 22. Why am I looking for level 6? I'm looking in the wrong direction. I'd have to go to the basement. That's funny. Okay, we'll call you Trigger 2, Lewis. It depends on whichever one of you make it in here. Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, that explains a lot. Yeah. But this is, yeah, a graduate program. You're working on your master's. If you're here during this time, having the knowledge that you do, guess what? You're working on your master's. You're not a kid. You're not a kindergartner. You're not a baby. No, you're not even in high school. You're a master. You're working on your master's. So don't get confused. Really? That's cool. What? Oh, the Longbeard's basement. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Haven't even carried. Well, that's cool. What can you get an exemption for these days? Because they told me asthma's not one of them. Mask exemption papers. Okay. Oh, got booted from what? Here? Yeah, I know. I have trouble breathing in my mask too, and it fogs up my glasses so then I can't see. So it really is a pain in the butt. Denali, you got booted from here? I didn't do it. Oh, your internet. Gee, doesn't it make you wonder about Scottish egg? I don't wonder. Yeah, can you use it for religious reasons? That would be interesting, Denali. Yeah. Oh, no, we've been having them. We had them last year, too. We had mask dramas. And we had, there is this one crazy lady that everybody knows that shows up at Aldi's. And if you get too close, what she thinks is closer than 6 feet, she'll go, get back, 6 feet, get back there. She's really, you know, terrified. Yeah. Well, they want us brain dead. They want us not to be able to connect the dots. They want us not to be able to think properly. Yeah, me too. I'm making some that I can breathe through, and they can go themselves if they think I'm going to wear something that I can't breathe through. I usually wear the gator style, and I've been making some of my own. Right, they can't say much about it. So it's not really a mask I'm wearing, it's actually a gator. Not quite the same thing. So I'm really never wearing a mask. But I have a plague doctor mask. I'm saving it for a special occasion. Yeah, powerless people getting power from the mask crap. Now they can make you do things because you don't have a mask and you don't have and you're not 6 feet away. They can tell you what to do. Yeah, I was thinking of that too. Now we're all Muslim women. Right? We're all like Muslim women, have to cover our faces. Yeah. I was thinking that too. Some people just keel over though. You can get all kinds of effects from that. Yeah, when masks became fashionable, and then one of my friends says, "Oh my God, my father's new wife, she sells designer COVID masks." Yeah, you know what? I wore it in here, but I'll bring it in again, Louis. I'll bring the plague doctor mask in one day. It'll be fun. Yep, I got it. I have the rest of the costume too. So yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I have the top hat and everything. And yeah, I'll do that. I'll come in dressed as the plague. I can't wear it very long though. No, you can't. They want us to be constantly in anxiety and fight and flight. I refuse. Linda, I wish I could say, but I don't think so. Because what I think will happen is, even with the shot, they will say, no, you can't take your masks off, because not everybody's taking it. Like most of us are not going to take the shot. Most of us are not going to take it because it can change your DNA. In fact, they've warned us that it's going to change our DNA. And I hate to tell you, but you're not allowed to change my DNA. So I think what the plan is to say, okay, but we can't take our masks off until everybody's got the shot. And there are these people who refuse. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to go away. Yeah, you know what? I've said that before, and it's funny because I've said it in the middle of stores. It's like, when are these people finally just going to grow a pair and realize that every time you go out, you're taking a chance? Okay? All kinds of things can kill you every time you step out the door, even if you stay in your home. Yeah, there will still say you need a mask with the vax. It won't change anything. A lot of people are hoping, yeah, give us the vax, because they think that it's going to get rid of the mask, but it won't. No. Yeah, Bill Gates boasted about it. Yes, he did. Remember, this is all just in-game chatter because this is just a game. It's a great big learning game. That way we can't get in trouble. Okay, now, yeah, well, you know what? I think Bill Gates should prove everything by taking every single one of his vaxes in order that he's backed. He's backed every vax for years now. I think he should be made to take them all. Don't you think? As a show of faith. What better way? Zombie shots. Yeah. Everything that we do is a risk. Come on. Every time I drink a glass of water, I could swallow. I've done it before and nearly died. Every time I swallow a bite of food, if I do it wrong, I could die. Come on. You know, this thing, what? Okay, though everybody's going to get it. They already said everybody's going to get it eventually. So are we really going to be able to stop that? No. Everybody's going to get it eventually. What can we do about it is make ourselves very, very healthy so that our systems can throw it off. And most people do. As a matter of fact, I think I was reading that the percentage of recovery is something like 99.98%. Come on. What are we afraid of? Okay, the numbers sound big. Like, say you got 40,000 cases of where people die in somewhere like Africa. Well, actually, Africa is huge. You can fit every other continent in Africa. So 400,000 is not huge when you stop to think of that. It's like they've got a huge amount of people. And a lot of the conditions there are not good. I mean, your chances are much higher, here. So yeah, there are people who are terribly sick and there are people who are at risk of dying. But if it was the flu, they would be at risk of dying too. So it is a thing, but is it as dangerous as they're saying? I don't know about that. Now let me say further, there's going to be a booster shot. And some people have speculated that could this be some kind of 2-stage thing? That the first one, you're okay, but then you add that second catalyst thing and something else happens instead? I don't know. Oh, masks are illegal in my place? What, in your home? Yeah, you know what, Denali? It used to drive me absolutely crazy when I was a kid. I used to have these dreams about what the next day would be, and it just drove me completely up the wall. And I wanted to make them stop. I had to make them stop because I couldn't tell. After a while, it got to be where I couldn't tell, am I dreaming or is this the actual day happening? And I couldn't tell anybody about it. So I guess that's when I started deciding, well, this is what I think. I think it's part of the path to turning us into grays. Because this species likes to turn subjugated people into grays. And we'd just be another race of gray alien. That's what I think. That's why they're messing with the DNA. Just to step down that path. You wouldn't find out for a long time, would you? Not necessarily. Not until kids start getting born that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've said they're thinking of chipping a vaccine. And a lot of people won't go with that either. Yeah. A lot of people have already decided they're not taking the shot no matter what. And they're willing to back it up with firepower. Hate to tell them. If they try to mass vax, it might get very bloody. Then they'll use it as an excuse for martial law. That's the plan. I also hate to say it, but whoever is perceived as president, is going to be in danger of their life, regardless of who it is. But I already see that it looks like Trump wins anyway in the end. But whoever it is, they're going to be in danger of their life because it's more disruption. It causes a lot of disruption, and that's the whole idea. This is all just disruption of our society. The worst part is China owns parts of what used to be the USA, and we're not allowed to see what they're doing in their parts of the USA. And when somebody told me they own a fourth of California, holy cow, is that why California's having so many problems? Think about it. Yeah, my father had prophetic dreams too, and so do I. Don't buy it, Denali. That's might be a programmed in thing. You're going to be a slave and we'll make you like it. And by the way, only they say that only the pilots of the ships are actual living beings. The rest of them are actually synthetic life. So maybe they do like their jobs, but you know what? I saw that too, that what they do is they just program a little chip that says you love being a slave. You love working for these people. You won't know that you hate it. You won't know that you're doing horrific things. You won't know that you're probing people and cutting them up and coring out. You won't know. You won't care. It'll all be fun because that's the way you're programmed. Yeah. So I had several. I had one about, I didn't understand it at the time though, about 9/11. I kept having dreams about clouds of, it looked like the dust storms, but it wasn't Ohio dust storm. Ohio had dust storms, but it wasn't the dust storms. It was bigger than that, and it was intentional. And that's all I knew, could see of it. And when I woke up 9/11, that's exactly all you could see was dust. It looked like a big dust storm. So Krakatoa went off again. Oh. Wow, that's interesting, Lewis. Yeah, we always get these forebodings of the future. Your grays. You'll have to tell us about it sometime. Most of us don't run into grays that are actually happy little guys. Me, I don't trust them. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't trust them anymore after hearing all of that. I guess there probably is a species that was the original grays. But when they tell me there's over 100, there's like 150 species of grays, how do you know which ones you're talking to? Yeah, sometimes it's just a big change coming. Yeah, I'm sorry. Grays seem to be, actually, there's something else too that they're saying, is that grays are not actually necessarily a species in themselves, but a type of automaton used by other species too. So there, to make it more complex, there are species that use gray suits to get things accomplished, which actually might be your case, Denali, because it might be a more benevolent species that's just using a gray suit to interface. Because of one reason or another, maybe their own form wouldn't work out. Remember, they can do these things. An advanced species can move around and get into and out. If we can get into and out of our bodies now, if we could do that and put ourselves into and be able to affect a little automaton, what would that be like? That's the other type of gray. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock now and time for Max's show. And it's time for me to end this, and I'd like to thank everybody that came. And we'll have more discussion about grays and whatever else you'd like to discuss. And we will air all opinions because that's what we do here. We will air your different opinions. Yeah, I think we did, Lewis. It's time for Max's broadcast. So I got to end. Okay, love you guys. Remember, the truth is where you find it. Hope you find some of it here. And go out and make some waves. This is Ocean making waves. Go out and make some too. Obes in the Ohio Valley on Maui were operated by grays. Well, if there are, well, see, there's so many things going on in the universe that trying to pigeonhole anything is really hard. Trying to say aliens are good, aliens are bad. People, are they good? Are they bad? There are all kinds of ways, right? Okay, so it's the same way out there as in here, above and below. I'll see you. Love you guys. You're great. You're amazing. Night. See you at Max's or Paisley's or wherever we show up again.